I am 80 years old. And if you are 60, 65, or even 70, I wish you could have heard this sooner than I did. Because there are lessons that, if not learned in time, you only realize once your body is no longer the same. I used to be a healthy person. I walked normally, my mind was sharp. But on an autumn morning when I was 74, I had a stroke. There was no warning, no severe headache, not a single dizzy spell. I was just pouring a glass of water, and suddenly my hand let go. My legs gave way. I was lucky to survive, but since then, every step is a negotiation with my own legs. And I wished, if only I'd understood sooner what my body had been trying to tell me. You know, most people who have a stroke used to think, I'm fine. They stayed up late often, ate salty food by habit, and if their hand went numb for a few minutes, they'd blame their sleeping position. But the truth is, a stroke doesn't come like a storm. It builds up like water silently leaking through a roof, until one day it all comes crashing down, turning your entire life upside down. What hurt me the most wasn't the days in the hospital or in rehabilitation. It was the silence inside me, when I couldn't name what I wanted, couldn't raise my hand to point at what I needed, when my mind was still clear, but my body was no longer my companion. So if you are listening to me right now, while your heart is still strong, your voice is clear, and your limbs are nimble, please don't wait for your body to scream with a stroke. Please listen before it is too late. In this video, I will share with you 5 things I should have started doing at 60. They are not complicated or expensive, just small things, but powerful enough to change your destiny. I cannot turn back at time for myself, but I hope through my real experiences, you can do that for yourself or for someone you love. And if what I am about to share can save just one person from a stroke, then I believe my final years still hold great meaning. Let's begin. Number 1, control your blood pressure daily to prevent a stroke. If there was one single thing I could go back and change at 60, it would be this: measuring my blood pressure every day. I used to think I didn't need to. I felt healthy, no headaches, no dizziness, so why bother? Then at 74, I had a stroke, and my doctor said, without hesitation, the cause was prolonged, silent high blood pressure. At that moment, I was stunned, because I had never seen my blood pressure as a problem. But the truth is, high blood pressure doesn't always have obvious symptoms. It doesn't knock, it doesn't give a warning. It just silently wears down the walls of your blood vessels, weakening the tiny vessels in your brain until one ruptures and everything changes in a matter of seconds. There is a CDC statistic I wish I had heard at 60. Nearly 80% of strokes in people over 65 are linked to high blood pressure. And what's even more heartbreaking is this: the vast majority of them were completely preventable, simply by monitoring blood pressure daily and acting in time. You do not need expensive equipment, just a simple electronic monitor used at the same time each day, perhaps in the morning after you wake up. Log the numbers. If they fluctuate wildly, see a doctor. If they are stable, that is wonderful news. But you should still keep monitoring. I know some people hesitate to measure because they're afraid of finding something out and then worrying. But my friend, knowing early enough to adjust is so much easier than recovering after a stroke. I spent nearly a year just relearning how to say a complete sentence, something I never gave a second thought to when I was healthy. Managing your blood pressure daily is like maintaining the roof of your house. You don't wait for the leaks to start before you fix it. You check it beforehand to stop the rain from ruining everything inside. Your body is no different. The blood vessels in your brain are tiny and fragile. A single moment of carelessness can be traded for a lifetime of disability. So if you are 60, 65, or any age and do not yet have this habit, please start today. Do it not just for yourself, but for the people around you, the ones who will have to care for you if the worst should happen. You cannot control everything in life, but you can control your blood pressure every single day. And sometimes that one small thing is what helps you avoid a fateful stroke. Number 2, eat less salt and saturated fat. Did you know that one of the smallest things I wish I had changed at 60 was my taste in food? I used to love salty dishes. A bowl of pho needed extra fish sauce. My braised dishes were always intensely savory. For holidays and parties, I always had fried foods, fatty meats, pâté, and rich, creamy cheese. Everyone would praise me, saying I ate as heartily as a young man. I felt confident because I was not overweight, had no stomach aches, and still got around just fine. But what I did not realize was that those delicious things were silently carving cracks into my blood vessels every single day. The discovery I made after my stroke was devastating. A diet rich in salt and saturated fat is the silent accomplice to a stroke. Salt raises blood pressure. Saturated fat raises bad cholesterol. The two together are like a ticking time bomb in your vascular system. And the brain, with its small, thin blood vessels, is always the most vulnerable target. According to the American Heart Association, just by cutting 1 gram of salt per day, you could lower your stroke risk by up to 20%. And if you limit saturated fats, especially from animal fat, reused frying oil, and fast food, that risk drops even more dramatically. This is not textbook advice. These are real statistics, and I am someone who has lived on the wrong side of them. I used to think that bland food just tasted bad, but after my stroke, when I ate through a tube, tasting nothing for weeks, I finally understood. Just being able to eat is a blessing. And in that moment, I wished I had learned to eat less salt sooner, so I wouldn't have had to trade the simple ability to eat and swallow on my own. You don't have to eliminate everything. Just make small adjustments. Choose lower sodium sauces, eat out less, cut back on canned goods. When you cook, season a little more lightly. Let the natural flavors of vegetables, fish, and other healthy foods shine through. And if you can, swap frying for steaming or boiling. Over time, your taste buds will adapt. And so will your body. I know at this age, change is not easy, but you can begin with just one meal today. A soup with less salt, a plate of steamed vegetables with no oil, one day without anything fried. Those small actions, repeated over time, become the silent barrier that protects your brain's blood vessels every day. Because life isn't found in a single delicious meal eaten for a moment, but in the quiet choices we make, meal after meal, so we can keep sitting at the dinner table with those we love. Number 3, exercise regularly for better blood flow. If there was an over-the-counter medicine with no side effects, that could prevent strokes, improve memory, lower blood pressure, and help clear your mind every single day, would you take it? I used to not believe such a thing existed. But after my stroke on the long road to recovery, I realized the habit of regular exercise, even just slow, deliberate steps each day, became the most precious medicine I have ever known. When I was healthy, I disliked exercise. I've worked my whole life and I'm tired. Now's the time for rest, not exercise. That's what I thought. But what I did not know was this, that prolonged sitting still was slowing my circulation, weakening my heart, and making my blood vessels rigid. And eventually the blood flow was no longer smooth enough to pass through the tiny vessels in my brain, leading to a clot and then a stroke. Exercising does not mean you have to run marathons or lift heavy weights. For older adults, it can be a 20-minute walk each morning, a few simple arm and leg stretches, or gentle balance exercises done right from your sofa. The most important thing is consistency, because your body, like a river, if it does not flow regularly, it will stagnate, it will clog, and it will dangerously change course. Studies from Harvard University have shown that older adults who maintain at least 150 minutes of moderate physical activity per week can lower their stroke risk by up to 30%. That number is even better when combined with a healthy diet and good blood pressure control. I once met a friend at my rehabilitation center. She had a mild stroke at 76. Ever since, at 6 a.m. every morning, she walks around her building's courtyard for exactly 15 minutes, rain or shine. She said, "It's not that I enjoy it, it's that I'm terrified of being bedridden again." I understood her completely, because I had been there. And if you can still walk, still lift your arms and legs, then please do not wait for a doctor to prescribe you a rehabilitation routine. Let every day be a proactive step, not a battle to reclaim what you've already lost. Exercise won't make you immortal, but it will help your blood flow smoothly, your heart pump stronger, and your brain stay nourished. And for me, every step I take now, however slow, is a silent prayer of thanks to my own body. Do you want to know where to start? As soon as this video is over, you can stand up, Take a deep breath, gently roll your shoulders, or walk a few laps around the room. As long as you keep moving, your body will keep moving with you, for longer, with more strength, and in better health. If this is hitting home for you, do me a favor and drop a 3 in the comments below. And hey, if you haven't already, hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell means you won't miss what's next. Your support is what keeps this channel going and helps us create more content just like this. Number 4, do not ignore early warning signs. There's one thing I learned the hard way after my stroke. The body always tries to warn us before something bad happens. The only problem is, most of us refuse to listen. Now, about a week before my stroke, I had a few strange symptoms. One morning, holding a coffee cup, my hand trembled slightly. Another day, I was talking and fumbled for a word. I just thought it was a slip of the tongue. Once I stood up too quickly, felt dizzy, and lost my balance for a second. But I just thought, I'm probably just tired. A good night's sleep will fix it. And I was so wrong. Those little things, they were warning whispers. It was my body telling me that blood flow to my brain was in trouble. But because I was overconfident, I missed my golden window to prevent a stroke. And the price I paid was nearly a year of physical therapy just to relearn how to speak and walk. A stroke does not always arrive suddenly, as people imagine. In many cases, it sends out early signals: numbness or weakness in an arm or leg, difficulty speaking, a drooping face, blurred vision, dizziness, a severe headache for no reason. If you experience even one of these signs, do not hesitate. Get medical help immediately. Because according to the American Stroke Association, if caught within the first 3 hours, many cases can be treated effectively, sometimes with a full recovery. I once heard a doctor say something that has haunted me ever since. Not everyone who has a stroke dies, but everyone who delays suffers damage. And the most damaging thing isn't the loss of function, but the feeling of regret when you realize you had a chance to stop it. I understand the feeling of not wanting to go to the hospital, of not wanting to be a bother or to overreact. But if anything unusual happens, even if it only lasts a few minutes, let a doctor be the judge. Don't just reassure yourself. Life can sometimes depend on a decision made 30 minutes faster, on one timely call to 911, or simply on asking someone for a ride to the hospital instead of waiting to see if it passes. And if you are caring for an elderly loved one or for yourself, pay close attention to the smallest changes: slurred speech, a vacant stare, a sudden loss of balance. That's not just old age. That could be the first warning bell. I lost so much to learn this, but you do not have to pay the price I did. You just need to watch yourself, listen to your body, and remember, there is no such thing as being too careful when it comes to the blood vessels inside your brain. Treat every unusual sign as a chance to hold on to your precious, normal life. Because when a stroke does come, you'll realize that normal is the most precious thing in the world. Number 5, get enough sleep to protect your brain. There is one thing I took for granted for many years, and it was, quite simply, sleep. When I was younger, I often stayed up late for work. After I retired, I'd go to bed late out of habit, either watching the news or just lying there with my mind racing. There were times I only slept 4 to 5 hours a night and still thought, I'm used to it, it's fine. But what I did not know was this: that repeated sleep deprivation was like an invisible knife, slowly damaging my brain's blood vessels night after night. Modern science has proven it clearly. When you don't get enough sleep, your body has no time to repair itself. Your blood vessels can't properly relax. Your blood pressure doesn't lower as it should, and neurotoxins aren't cleared out effectively. All of those factors, combined, increase the risk of plaque buildup, which narrows the brain's blood vessels and can cause a stroke. According to the National Sleep Foundation, adults need at least 7 hours of deep sleep each night. But it is not just the quantity, it is also the quality. Fitful sleep, waking up often, staying up too late, or sleeping with too much light can all reduce the brain's ability to recover. I only truly understood this after my stroke, when I found I could no longer sleep well. My brain became overstimulated, my sleep grew shallow, and I'd startle awake easily. Each restless night led to an exhaustion that bled into the next day. And I would wish, if only I had prioritized sleep back when I was 60, when my body was still strong and my ability to recover was still high. So I started over, one small step at a time, turning off electronics an hour before bed, drinking a cup of herbal tea instead of evening coffee, going to bed at the same time every night, calming my mind with a book or soft music. No sleeping pills, just guiding my body back to its natural rhythm, the way it was always meant to be. And if you're sleeping poorly or not sleeping deeply, please don't just write it off as a normal part of old age. See it as a sign that you need to make a change. Because a deep sleep doesn't just help you feel rested, it helps your blood vessels relax, your brain get nourished, and most importantly, it helps you steer clear of the silent threat of a stroke. You do not have to do anything drastic. Just start with tonight. Go to bed 30 minutes earlier. Turn off the TV an hour earlier. Take a few deep breaths before you lie down. These small actions, when repeated, become the silent shield that protects your precious brain every single night. Because you deserve to wake up every morning, not just to live, but to live with a body that is alert, healthy, and full of peace. You know, I've lived to be 80, and I'm sharing this today not out of regret, but in the hope that if you're 60, 65, or at any starting point, you still have time. We have walked through 5 seemingly simple things, but they are the silent guards protecting your brain every day. Controlling blood pressure, eating less salt and saturated fat, exercising regularly, not ignoring warning signs, and getting enough sleep. I do not know what tomorrow will bring, but I know that what I do today, no matter how small, can help me prevent another stroke. And I also know that if you start earlier than I did, you'll have a better chance of holding on to your memory, your speech, your independence, and all the precious moments with your loved ones. Perhaps you once thought a stroke was just a matter of bad luck, something that strikes out of nowhere. But the truth is, it comes from the habits you repeat every day, whether you're letting things slide or actively taking care. So today, I'm inviting you to make a different choice. You don't have to change your entire life this afternoon. Just one small thing. Check your blood pressure tomorrow morning. Use half a spoonful less salt at dinner. Take a 10-minute walk after your meal. Go to bed 30 minutes earlier. Or call the doctor if your hand feels a little numb. Because sometimes one simple choice on an ordinary day is what preserves a lifetime of ordinary days to come. I believe you can do it, because I've started, even though it's late. But you, if you're listening to me now, that means you still have time. And that is the most precious gift you have, so please don't waste it. If today's message resonated with you, I'd love for you to leave a comment. What's one thing you'll start with? Your single comment might just give someone else out there, someone who's also quietly worried about a stroke, the courage to make a change. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell. That way I can continue to join you on this journey through other vital health topics. Thank you for your time and for listening. I wish you peace in every breath, every step, and in every quiet, restful sleep. I'll see you in the next video.